The mental block of scaling to six figures. First of all, guys, I'm a master at psychology. My mom was a psychologist. I know a lot about the mind itself, and I have helped people who have all the resources, all the things in the world scale because their mental mind frame was just not there. Now, when you're scaling to six figures, when you scale to 100K, the only reason why you can't do it is because you're still the 10, 20, 30K guy. You're trying to seep around, you're trying to see everything. First of all, guys, you have to believe that you can do it. This is not like jargon. People talk about, being delusional, all that stuff. That really is like not a, I would say, a hoax. I would say it's not a bad message. What they're trying to say is that you just need to be like, okay, I can do it, and that's it. That's the game, right? Once you can able to understand that you can do it, now we're talking. First of all, so you can make six figures. I don't care who you are. If you're at 10K, 20K, 30K, if you are not at 10K, keep working. Just don't watch this video because you need to hit the ground running. It's just all action you have to take, right? But if you are not, then let me talk about it. Now, the main reason is that you want to do it all. That's why I put this guy with the eyes on. You want to do the editing, you want to do the video, you want to do the DM, you want to do the closing, you want to do all of it. You don't want to leave a single department because you're used to it. You edit your videos, you make the content, you set up the tripod, you are used to all this. And this is the reason why it's still stuck at this. Let me give you an analogy, right? If you make, let's say, 30K, right? And if you add three more people that can make 30K, how much is that? 90K, right? So if you hire three members of staff, which you can give this 30K a month mindset to, will not make the 90K. It's 3x the output. If 3x the output could happen, would you not make more money? Right? Because all the parts of business, right? You feel like you're losing control. That's what really happens when you're trying to scale. You're trying to hire people. You don't know how will they act. You don't know what will happen. You're kind of confused. You're like, is this guy even going to be good? Am I going to get anything out of it? Is he going to be good at his job? Why do I have to talk with him so much? All these things that we all go through this, right? And that's the issue. You need to go from a solo person, a solo, to a team player. And that's where the money is because, again, what did I say? The output will be more. And it's not that if you hire more people, you'll make more money. That's another misconception. It's hiring the right people. It's hiring the killers. It's hiring the person who can do the work of five people. Let's say you hire someone, right? And they can do the work of five people. And there's three of them. Those are 15 people on that. And you make 30K a month. Just multiply that. How much will you make? Do the math. I think it will be around 150 something. Yeah, 150K, something like that, right? Whatever it is. But you can kind of see that. I don't edit my videos. I don't send my DMs. I don't do that, right? Why do I don't do that? Because I need to focus on the content. I need to focus on filming these videos. I need to come up with the ideas of it. Now, of course, I can outsource this works later on. Somebody can make me this entire board, and which I will do as I want to scale more and more. Right now, I enjoy the process. It's pretty simple for me to do. That's why I'm doing it. But I am making SOPs. I'm making all these structures to that person so I can give that skill set of making these videos itself. Right now, you should be building an entire system and SOPs and training the staff because this is extremely crucial. If you have an outreach which is working currently, it's working fantastically, and it's just a masterpiece. Let's just say, right? Make an SOP on it, make an entire system on it, and then talk with that person. Because what will that do is you will always have a structure which you can give to someone, some basic points which you believe in to transfer that over. Because again, all that you're doing right now is just taking your skill. You're this person, right? Let me draw a beautiful, beautiful diagram. Boom, bro, this is atrocious. Let me just draw a smiley. Maybe I can do that. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, this is you, right? All you're doing right now is to make other smiley people. You hire, you basically take these three smiley dudes, and then boom, you're gonna make money. That's it. And to do that, this in between are the SOPs. That's why you see a lot of big companies. I work with 7 and 8 figure businesses, by the way. Those people have structures and structure and structure. When I joined a closing or when I joined a setting off or whatever it was, I would be like, here's the SOP, here's this, here's this, here's this. I have to go through all of that, perform myself, and then only I would actually go into the business itself because I have learned from them. They would have hours and hours of training, and then I would go in, right? And that's it. Because the people you hire will become the expert in the market. People like me who are polymaths, who can do a bunch of stuff, need specialists. If you're someone who can, talk really good and then also like make content, is pretty creative, like a polymath who can have a bunch of skills. You need someone who can specialize in each of those factors and then do that, because that's going to make you a 100x or even 1,000x better coach or business owner, because now every department is done by expertise, is done by a person who knows what they're doing, right? Because if you think of any big industry names, right, do you think they make their piece of content? Fuck no. Do you think Iman Gassi sat there, go on Miro or go or Canva, got there, took a photo of himself, put this thing in, and then no, he has but he probably just texts and he's like, make me a thumbnail. Or he probably records the video and they're like, make me a thumbnail of the video. That's it. Maybe he doesn't even come up with the scripts. Some people have told me he doesn't. And that's all right, because he's a busy guy. He needs to do a bunch of work. He needs to look at other departments, right? And your mind will constantly try to tell you to stop something in this process. It will try to think, oh, is this guy doing his work? Let me fire him. You will have a lot of that, right? Or try something new, because you might want to hire that person. You might throw that person under a roof. You want to do a bunch of things to that poor little guy who's coming onto your team, or have nobody else to do it because you feel like you're losing control. You don't have any freedom no more. You have to talk with all these people. I know it goes through all your head, but you need to look at data. Because if you have data, you can just basically see, okay, this is what this guy's doing, this is what that guy's doing. You need to have EODs. You probably know EODs at this point. Have EODs, have daily tracking, have daily rituals for the team itself to go to the process. Because once they have done that, you know who's working, who's not working, who's the weakest link. Do we need to make him better? Do we need to replace him? You can go back and forth with that idea, right? Because not what you feel, right? And here's like some sort of like checklist that I follow, and to like hire someone to do something, which is like make a tracking sheet for the content reach, right? Like how many people did the editor got the attention to, then followers to DM conversion, then DMs to book calls conversion, and then booked calls to clients. So here's your setting, closing, and also your basically this conversion, which is coming from your content. So a content, you should focus on content, because marketing is a six-figure like skill set, right? Getting attention is a six-figure skill set. Retaining is a seven-figure skill set. I think Nick talks about it, but basically the point is that you are going to be on the forefront, like, fulfilling it and also talking about it and doing that back and forth. But the in between process, the conversion needs to be done by something else when you want to scale to six figures, because that will make the biggest difference. And just obsess over each process again and again and again, these processes which I'm talking about, to find the bottleneck and scale with your team. Because you could be like, hey guys, we're getting 1 million views, but why are we only making a 30K? If you're getting 1 million views, you have the wrong targeting. You think marketing is completely good, but like the conversion is bad, or maybe you're targeting the wrong people. And this is something you need to talk with your team. This is something you need the data for. If you don't have any data, what are you going to talk about? Nothing. So another thing that I will go over, which is extremely crucial, right, is YouTube is king. Guys, please, 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 from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of my nutsacks, make a YouTube. If you don't have a new YouTube channel, you are losing a lot of money. I have 44 subscribers now. Bro, who is this guy? Listening. There's some guy who subscribes and he unsubscribes, he subscribes and he unsubscribes. It was 44, now it's 43. Subscribe right now. Do not unsubscribe. Probably going to have people doing this now. But whatever, right? I don't care how many people get on short form. I don't care if you're getting 1 billion views. You need YouTube, because YouTube is a converting VSL that you can have on any sort of process. Outreach, send a YouTube video. Doing content, send a YouTube video. Having booked a call, send a YouTube video. Bro, it is literally just making assets. Like, do that, please. And I've made a full video on how you can jump scale and start it as a coach, as someone who's done it, because I'm scaling fast on YouTube as well. But 44 subscribers, I made like 43 videos to get here, and I've done like over, I think we're almost at 2K views. But these are like super specific. Like I don't have any music in the background. I don't do that stuff, right? So you need this, extremely crucial and important. Because if you don't have YouTube, you are losing money like a fly, like a moth going to the fire. Boom. Nice analogy. Now, focusing on personal problems and your team. This is something most people don't talk about, is that you need to fix your teams and your problems, right? Because if your personal life is messed up, you won't scale. all your business problems are your personal problems, is a saying, right? And if someone in your team does, let's say you have an A player, right? Let's say you have this A player who is, currently stuck, who doesn't want to, who's just not working good. Maybe he's having a breakup, maybe his mom is sick. Ask him what the issue is and talk with him. Call him just randomly, like, and just be like, hey bro, what's up? Or like, you haven't been performing, what's happening? You ask him that question and he can, bro, most people will open up if you are friendly. If you're someone who's a dictatorial, don't be that way. It doesn't really work. First of all, be someone who have respect, be someone they look up to, and of course still go over there. But you need to ask these questions because you build a connection with your team so that they can become open to you and they can chat with you and feel relaxed. And guys, if you have this sort of team culture, if you have that, that alone will transfer them never leaving. Most people leave because they get better opportunities. Not that they have any like hatred towards you. It's just like, hey guy, hey, you're paying me 4K. That guy's paying me 11K. Of course, you're gonna go for the 11K guy who wants to make his life. He wants to save his time. He wants to do all this thing. But if you can make him believe that the company is better, if you can make him believe that we're gonna scale, we're gonna get to 11. You making 11K a month. We're gonna get to all these places. If they believe in you and they want to work with you, if you're working with them as a friend, then that's real. That's why all these guys are out here doing like, oh, client retreat, client retreat, client retreat. This is it's kind of funny because this used to happen even back in the day. Like, this is not some people think it's a new concept, client retreat, all that stuff. It's pretty basic. Like, what you're basically doing is that you're just calling guys up. Like, people used to do it like back in 2016. I've seen, right? People. That's why companies used to happen. Now, of course, everything's remote since COVID, all that jargon. But my point is that they need to look. First of all, this is the three tier checklist which I make. They need to look up to you. Like, they need to look up to you like as a someone they can become, right? Second of all, they need to respect you, right? Because if they don't respect you, then that's a reason. These are correlated. And third, they need to be open to you. Bro, I have known people that haven't even told their parents stuff that they tell me. I know people that I have literally like helped them through a crisis. I've done all that. That's why they stick with me. That's the thing. And that's what you guys need to do, right? I know people, who had like terrible, horrendous things happen to them, but they still go with me. Why? Because I sat there, I'm like, hey, bro, what's happening? Rather than saying, oh, you're not doing your job, what's happening? Oh, you're not feeling the EOD. I'm like, hey, hey, hey. But of course, it also happens if the guy did that in the past. If he didn't do it, then there's nothing there. If he didn't, like, if it's not like, hey, you just like, I think it like, oh, that happened. And no, 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 no. You were like, oh, like this guy used to fill the EODs, used to be on top of everything. Now he's not. What happened? And you need to fix that gap. And the main kind of lever you can pull is in your mind is to think that it's achievable, because this is the thing, right? If you think, let me give you an example. If you think you can't become a billionaire, let's say there's a 0.3% chance of becoming a billionaire. I think that's the actual statistic itself. Let's say you think that, right? That there's 0.3% chance of becoming a billionaire, and you think I can't become one. That 0.3 is zero now. That is zero. What's better, 0.3 or zero? 0.3, because there's still a chance. So first of all, believe you can do it. And also, there are no limitations. Do you think six figures is that hard? Bro, I know idiots making 300K a month. Idiot people you watch who are like, think like, this guy's so smart. I go to these guys, masterminds, all that stuff. They're dumb. They just have a bunch of smart people around and they build a good team, and then they're just learning from someone else. Guys, becoming a millionaire even, and of course some people might be like, hey, you don't have it. I know I will be, but becoming a millionaire is really a copy paste process. It's not something, need to go after. The reason why becoming a billionaire is hard, because you need to follow your heart. And that's hard to do. Look at the guy who made Red Bull. Like, read his story. Guy's a genius. That becoming a billionaire is all about the heart. Like, that doesn't really happen with that. Becoming a millionaire is a copy paste process. And you guys can do it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. And also, believe you can. Again, I really want to emphasize on this, because if you can believe, your mind will start to rationalize it. If you believe, right, let me say this, my hands can move this way, my mind will think it can, right? If I say my hands cannot move this way, like I can't move it, your mind will start to rationalize in of itself. It's kind of like a weird concept. Just believe there's ice cream, and then you'll find a way to get the ice cream. That's it. Boom.